Good morning and welcome back. Today I wanted to do some propagating of Monarda species. It's kind of a cloudy day. The sun is trying to peek through, but I think we have more rain on the forecast. All right, Clove, you can come in. Yeah, and so the plant I want to propagate is this one right here. I think that's a sign that the sun is going to peek out here, so I got to get back to my original goal in this area, which was to propagate out some of these Monarda. I mean, it's all one Monarda plant, and which one it is, I can't remember. I think I got this one at a garden store. I definitely didn't grow this one from seed. But yeah, I'm gonna get the shovel in here and do a split right at the end of this stem, and I think I should get a nice plant out of it and not do too much damage to the whole clump. They're pretty tough, but nothing's invincible. So give me a second here. So I got my shovel in, and there's 2 plants, it seems like, right here. Just pull this up. Oh my god, you can see. Check this out. Well, first of all, there's a nice worm in there. But look at the air roots coming out the stem here. That's wild. Oh yeah, I'm excited to see what these guys are working with. There's definitely enough roots. And especially if I cut back this stem to a more reasonable length. It's really important to have a good balance of roots and shoots. So, I mean, that's pretty nice. I think I will also cut this back to maybe here, and then that'll be a good plant. Same with this guy right here. Oh my lord, look at this. Look at the soil hanging off of that. That's a good looking plant. Probably won't have to cut that one back. It's got a lot more mass on those roots. And then, alright, so I knocked over this columbine and broke its flower stem a little bit, so hopefully these sticks will hold it up from the break, and these seed pods can mature. They might not, though, and you know, that's a life lesson right there. Things don't always go as you plan. That's all right, because sometimes you get more than you bargained for, like with this one. That's 2 good plants. This is a perfect size plant, and it even comes with a little wood sorrel hanging off. Awesome. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to see if I can get at least one more out of here. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's a great looking plant. All right, so there's my 5 plants. Let's go find a place to put them. I grabbed a bucket just so I can carry these plants by their root clumps. And there's a little bit of water in there, fresh rain. Help them if they're stressed, but these guys are mints, and they're pretty tough. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm just being a little extra careful because I can. There we go. Double check everything in here. Now, I covered everything back up with mulch, and the columbine is looking alright for now, but I'm going to see if I can tease this Monarda stem down into the ground here. And that's a no. That broke off at the stem, so we are going to actually pull this. I mean, even at the stem, it had a root. So let's give this a shot. Let's pull off a couple of leaves. And that's going to help reduce the amount of water that this plant loses while it's trying to recover from this trauma that it's experienced. We could dig just a little hole, should be alright. And I'm going to lay this on its side here and get as much of the stem in that hole as I can for rooting purposes, to maximize the chance. There's that other node right here, which could root out as well. And mints, like most plants with hairs on their stem, can root out through their stem. So this is another way that you can potentially propagate, which is pretty easy. And especially if you already damage a piece of the plant, you can always try to bury it and see if anything comes up. Man, these lupins are killer. This is all one plant. I think I got this one from Bagley Pond. And I'm pretty impressed with it. I'm checking to see if there's any pups that I can pull off of here. I call it a pup, but it's not really a pup. You can pull these plants off at the node here and root that out as a cutting, which is pretty cool. Yeah, maybe in another couple weeks that'll be ready. Yeah, I got my plants here in a bucket, and we'll go put these in. So somebody with the dirt nose was digging at this apple tree that I put in. You can see pretty good looking roots, but no thank you, Clover. This is not a spot to be digging. I'm actually going to grab a bucket of compost, I think, and kind of fill in this area. I think that'll do well. Clover, stop. Come on, there's not anything in there. There's not anything in there, you goofer. And when we fill it with the compost, we'll definitely put in at least one of these. But yeah, let's go get that compost. The question is, do we want to use the garden cart? We've got it. Might as well use it. Use that to water the compost pile. I was going to go out to the front compost pile, but I'm seeing some good looking compost right inside the chicken coop there. So I think I'm going to take that instead. Can say hi to the Chiefs while we're in here. Do a little count. We should have 11. If nothing terrible has happened. Yeah, we should have 3 of the Buff Orpingtons, which are the white, 3 of the Araucana, which are the yellow, and then I think we have 3 Americana, which are those stripy ones in the back there, and then I added on 2 extra and got this this darker one. I don't know what it is, and this older one right here. Bielefelder, I believe is what that one is called. And that one's a week older, so it is what it is. These guys are 5 to 6 weeks old right now, and they are, I guess you could say, still integrating with the flock, but they just spent their second night in the chicken coop with the chickens. Kind of hard to see through that, but I can do a more in-depth piece on that if you guys want. But yeah, I'm going to just take some of this compost, and then I'll go put in those Monarda plants. Alright, got my buckets, and inadvertently I've cornered a couple of these cheeps. Come on. Come on. Come on. That's a nice looking cheep. There you go. And like that, birds of a feather. Alright, maybe. Hey, watch out. Excuse me. Want to compost. Return of water. Some really, really clean, yummy looking water. There we go. Let's see if I can slide that over a little bit. Nice. Do a little bit of load balancing. Come on, pups. Good girl, Mape. Come on, Clover. Come on. Atta girl. Yeah, you do things at your own speed, I know. And away we go. Oh my God. Let's see if we can get all the way in here. There we go. Not bad at all. See the stark contrast between these two soils. This is what I'm adding, which is a pretty sandy mix, to be honest. But right against this clay sand, I mean, it's black gold. All right. Yeah, once we get a little bit more charcoal going, then this stuff will really take off. You can make some biochar, soak it up in some of our various liquid fertilizers and such and so forth and so on. I'm talking piss, brother. But yeah, that should be good. And then we can grab, I think, 2 of these guys. Will work out. But let's see if I can get in here. There we go. There we go. And since these mints can root out through their stem, you don't really have to worry about putting them too deep. So I'm actually going to go a little deeper, kind of like a tomato plant. I think we can really get it in there. There we go. Yeah, I think all of these little stems will root out too, especially if I give them some good stem contact with this well-draining compost. That's one. Yeah, I think we should do a couple more. This one that we should probably cut back. Let's actually put this one in the bag. And the great part about these plants is, yes, I'm planting them close. Yes, they're right in the canopy and potentially shading out part of this apple tree. But I can always cut them back. I can always pull them out. You saw how easy it was to move them. And they're really just a great smelling plant that I think will help deter that from happening over here. And also from the chickens scratching at it. I was kind of surprised for no sticks around this area. They really didn't didn't come after it too bad. But I think one more little trifecta action. Take this little guy with the wood sorrel. Another great plant, nitrogen fixer. Nice lemony taste. And I think it's native. If it's not native, it's naturalized. So, oh, just popped that off, a little too rough. All right, we can leave that there as a little chop and drop offering. Speaking of which, just grab some of this clover, little broadleaf dock, little broadleaf plantain. We're just gonna grab a light layer of mulch that we can throw around at the base of here, kind of shelter that nice fertile soil from getting absolutely baked by the sun. Take some dock, one of the best plants for this. Speaking of best plants for this, let's grab some comfrey. Kind of going off. Looking good. It's a nice fistful. Probably need some more. I can smell those comfrey leaves. Very strong smell of cucumber. Grab some more dock. That was absolutely ridiculous. Let's take a look. What is that? Nanking cherry. Awesome. That should be a nice bush cherry. I think we got that one from Edible Acres. You can see a bunch of goldenrod in here. And while I could harvest that, I don't like to. I like to leave that for the birds and the bees and the caterpillars, and it seems like there's all kinds of stuff that enjoys that. So I can take the naturalized stuff, like this dock and like the plantains, all up over there, which is where I'm heading. Pretty nice dock opportunity. Pretty sweet. This is all flea banes that the chickens absolutely chowed early in the season, but I'm glad to see they're bouncing back. They each have some buds on there for some flowers, which would be nice. And this is right on the leach field too, so it's really a pretty good option for taking advantage of that space. There we go. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just the more that you shield that soil from the sun, the more microbial activity you can have in that space. Just due to the sun not killing it. Grab some grass. I think that should do it. That should be fine. And hopefully clover resists the urge to go back in there and dig. But I have a couple more plants to get in, literally 2. But I think that's a good place to stop for now. I'll go put in these plants and probably put the rest of the compost around these blue potatoes, which are doing really well. I feel like I just filled these back in with compost and they're already ready for more. Guess that's the way of the world. But hey, you know, I got no problems. I've never had a problem with a bountiful potato harvest. I can't wait to see how these guys do. But yeah, thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.